Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, the franchise player, WWE Bad Blood, joined by the mixologist himself, Mr. Chemical Julian. And we are here with a special edition of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast Network News. And look, ladies and gentlemen, shit has been going down for the last week with AEW. And
hey, just
some more shit.
This has got nothing to do with CM Punk.
You're right. It has nothing to do with CM Punk. Thank God.
Yes. However,
this has been some crazy shit. This has been one of those days where, like, if it will happen, it will happen. And guess what? It has happened. I believe it was 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here in the United States. Daniel Wheeler, better known to you as Cash Wheeler, one half of the AEW World Tag Team Champions, FTR, was arrested, ladies and gentlemen, in Florida with one count of aggravated assault with a firearm, a third-degree felony in that state. He was booked into Orange County Jail there. Documents show the Wheeler's attorney was there with him during the arraignment. He was released on bail, $2,500. Wow, $2,500. That's my rent. $2,500 on the arraignment on this Friday afternoon. And he literally has to go ahead and turn over all weapons, firearms, or ammunition he owns to the sheriff's department within 12 hours of him being released. Now, the good news is he will be allowed to travel over to the UK to defend the AEW World Tag Team Championships this weekend at All In. The bad news is they can't talk about Jimmy Uso with DUIs then.
I think that's going to happen anyway. So, you know what? I want to make a few things clear because I know headlines are written for sensational reasons. And so here's a few things that actually that went down. So, number one, he turned himself in. Someone said, "Hey man, there's a warrant for your arrest." So he went to the police station, turned himself in, got in front of the judge. He has no prior criminal history. This happened, I guess, in the town where he lives in or nearby. So he's not a flight risk. He owns a home. He's gainfully employed, et cetera, et cetera. And that's why he was, number one, granted bail, and his bail was set so low. And no, I'm not a lawyer, but I've listened to enough of these reports. Second of all, I kind of hate the fact. So when you read the title that he was arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm, it sounds like he pistol whipped somebody or shot at some people or whatever. That's not what happened. In a road rage style incident, he brandished a weapon at somebody. Now we're talking about the state of Florida. Remember, in the state of Florida, they have a stand your ground rule, which is how Trayvon Martin's assailant ended up getting a not guilty conviction. So if he's like, "Hey, I was driving my car and somebody came at me, tried to run me off the road," the same way the NWO did the Steiners, and he waved a gun at him, he might be like, it was self-defense. It was a deterrent. And I mean, the man didn't unload any clips. He didn't bust any caps at anybody, and he didn't run from the cops. He went in. Now, I don't know who the victim is. I don't know who snitched, but don't start none, won't be none. But
It was the Bucks.
out as the case progresses. You know,
Allegedly, it was the Bucks. No, so here's the official. During the arraignment, which court stems, prosecutors accused Wheeler of flashing a handgun during an alleged road rage incident.
Yep.
Orange County records show that Wheeler's alleged incident happened on July 27th. The next day, he was in Orlando. The next day, he went to the Orlando Police Department, turned himself in. August 3rd, Wheeler's attorney issued a non-guilty plea on behalf of his client. Today is what? The 17th? So they did all of this. This is not news. This is not brand new news. Like it didn't, you go on Twitter, they're talking about, oh, it was a domestic violence dispute or it was this and that. No, he does not know the people. Wheeler said he does not know the alleged victims. A third-degree felony in Florida is punishable by up to 5 years in jail and a $5,000 fine. The prosecution and the defense both say Wheeler does not have a prior criminal record, so he is not a flight risk. They did not ask him for his passport or any other travel information.
Correct.
So honestly, it's going to be a slap on the wrist, hopefully. So I'm not condoning the flash of a handgun and the other bullshit, but at the end of the day, Florida is a standalone state. So people carry guns on there all fucking day. People carry guns all the time.
Now, I'm not going to go into the if he was black thing, but I will say that when he's standing there with his lawyer and the judge was like, "Hey, state, what do you have to say about this?" And they were just like, they did not seem very concerned. And again, no priors, no history, no criminal history, no DUIs, list of road rages, domestic violence, nothing. I mean, this is a guy who, got caught in a bad situation, exercised bad judgment, flashed a handgun, but again, it's Florida. So I can only guess how many people have a handgun flashed at them in Florida or Texas or a lot of states just on a day-by-day basis. But
yeah,
he got caught doing it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. The way they're talking about this is like, honestly, it's like a week before their biggest show.
Well, yeah, and I think that's why it's being made notable or being made newsworthy, because he's half the AEW Tag Team Champions, and this is like the biggest show for them ever, and they've got to defend the titles.
There was a lot of stuff going around. Like people were like, "Oh man, this, that, and the other thing." Let's talk about guys that are part of the company sticking up for them. MJF, of all people, hit Twitter and was like, and I quote, "Kind of disappointed how many dorks there are that on this app that jump to conclusions so quick. A ton of people privilege is shown. We're all human. We're all flawed. We all make mistakes. Take it from a guy who's made more mistakes than most. If I've had my ups and downs with FTR, but Cash Wheeler is a great dude and a badass. You're getting FTR versus the Young Bucks in front of 80,000 plus on August 27th. Talk to you about that, Tweebs." Now, a lot of people are like, he should be, he should be locked up. He should be allowed to go there. Keep in mind, when Jimmy Uso was getting these DUIs, he wrestled 2 nights later, and all the WWE stands were excited about that. Now these same WWE stands are saying strip FTR of the tag team titles. Guys like Bully Ray are like, "Yo, man, that's 100% facts." Let's see who else. Who else said it? Even Roman Reigns. Wow. Even Roman Reigns said, "People make mistakes. See you guys doing good. Do your thing." Sammy Guevara. Sure, turn a blind eye. Whoa.
Is he being a heel?
Hold on.
Is he writing in character?
I'm sorry. Sammy Grant. Woo. I got a little upset for a second. Sure, turn a blind eye to gun violence if it's an example you want to set. Using a firearm because you're having an argument is definitely not a wise decision. So someone said to him, "Yeah, drinking and driving is not a wise decision either. Look how many times Jimmy Uso got arrested for that. Yet you are one of those guys that supported him, and there's a couple of screenshots of him supporting that. So WWE stands. You really can't complain. The guy turned himself in. It wasn't like he was running from the guy.
My biggest takeaway from this is like the judge, his lawyer said, "Hey, I haven't read the affidavit. However, my client heard there was a warrant out for his arrest. He's here to turn himself in. I want to establish bail. Boom, boom, handle business and get out." There wasn't a high-speed car chase. There wasn't no one busting down his door. Cops didn't have Broncos. None of that shit.
SWAT didn't show up at his house.
No cover-ups. None of that stuff. So, this will play out legally. Once again, since nobody was hurt, I don't think that there's going to be much of a problem for him. I'd be surprised if he even got probation. He'll probably get fined and be on his way. It would be shitty of AEW to strip them of the tag team belts because of this.
Yeah.
But historically speaking, Rob Van Dam, when he got caught smoking weed, he got stripped. I'm trying to think who else. We've seen in the past where people there's been last minute title changes because of legal issues. Unless it's an NDA, then you just do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of legal issues, let's go to the next story I want to get out of the way before we shut this down.
Sonny?
WWE Hall of Famer Tammy Sonny Sitch faced no contest for facing up to 25 and a half years. Okay, so she was in Florida. She got arrested for drunk driving. She is over 3.5 times the legal limit drunk. Okay, she pled no contest on Wednesday to a DUI causing her death and other charges of a fatal crash that could face up to 25 and a half years. She is going to be sentenced on November 27th.
Now, hold on. In this last DUI, didn't the person die?
Yes.
By
so here's what we got.
Listen closely. On your third DUI, I don't know if her state has a 3 strikes law.
Oh, she's in Florida.
This is her third DUI. And on her third DUI, somebody died. The backlash from this is going to be, how come on her second DUI, they didn't lock her up for good? Or on her first, and that's just how it goes. This, unfortunately, is an argument for more and more stringent DUI laws because, I'm assuming her license was revoked.
Yeah. I'll read you the rest. She is entered a plea of not guilty on May 31st. The same charges stemming from a deadly traffic crash in Ormond Beach, Florida. She was charged. She changed her plea to no contest the other day. Ormond Beach police said on March 25th, 2022, her vehicle failed to stop and crashed into the back of a stopped car in the intersection of US number 1, and leading to the death of a 75-year-old man. Sitch has been held without bond on a pretrial detention. She's been in jail since May 13th, 2022. So she's got vehicular. She says, okay, so the judge asked her a number of routine questions, and after she pled not guilty, she said she almost graduated college.
After she pled what?
Not guilty. She's claiming that she has PTSD, borderline personality disorder, and bipolar disorder. Okay, so she's on Prozac and antidepressants, all of these things. Like I said, her blood level was 3.5 times the legal limit, which is 0.08, set by Florida's law. She also tested high for THC. They found a bottle of vodka, open bottle of vodka, the unsealed bottle of vodka. They found marijuana, and they found some pills. Okay, in addition to the DUI charge, she's got charged with 1 count of driving with a suspended license, 1 count of driving with a revoked license, 1 count of causing death and serious injury. The first charge is a second-degree felony punishable by 15 years in prison by itself. with a suspended driving charge is a third degree felony punishable by 5 years. So she's got 15 years for that, plus 5 years for the driving under suspended, whatever. So that's 20 years. So you tell me she's only getting half a year for the vehicular manslaughter?
I have a question. How do you get charged with driving on a suspended license and a revoked license? I mean, if it's revoked, it's like suspended for good. Like, how do those two work out? But you know what?
That's almost like getting a copyright strike on Twitter. I mean, on YouTube for playing a YouTube video. Same thing. Shout out to you, YouTube. So she is also charged with 4 counts of a DUI, damage to a person, 2 counts of DUI with damage to property. Each of the 6 counts is the first degree misdemeanor, punishable by 364 days in jail. As part of the agreement, Sitch will be sentenced to time served on 6 counts, and the sentence will run consecutive. So even though she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
But she's
7,
served
8,
over a year
9,
already.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 charges. The murder charge outweighs all of them. So that means she would do a minimum of 20 years in prison. A minimum of 20 years.
She was like, I got 16 charges. Donald Trump was like, hold my coffee.
These WWE Hall of Famers get in trouble.
Yeah, bro. Oh my God. It's almost as cursed as the women's tag team titles.
Wow.
All right, so what do you want to be? You want to be women's tag team champion? You want to be a Hall of Famer?
Jobber.
I'd be like, well, fuck it. At least if I'm a tag teamer, I'll just get injured and be able to go home.
Maybe. Anyway, so there's a lot of stuff going on. She's got multiple charges there. Sentencing guidelines said the lowest prison sentence for Sitch will be 10.5 years. The lowest. 10
yeah.
One of those charges carries a 4-year minimum sentence. She has multiple prior charges of driving under the influence, driving on a suspended license in Pennsylvania, driving on a suspended license in Pennsylvania while she has never held a valid Florida driver's license. Jesus Christ. So
she was driving in Florida on her Pennsylvania driver's license, which you can drive in any state with. You can drive in any state with a license from any state. This means you're a licensed driver. However, unless, of course, that license has been suspended or revoked, then you can't be driving.
Well, the point is, Tammy Sitch is going to be going to jail for a very long fucking time.
Yeah, she is.
If she receives a lower, how would you give her a lower sentence? Like, here's the thing, and this is where I wanted. The reason why I brought her up is this: everyone is on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. They are smashing Cash Wheeler's incident. Cash Wheeler is, this and that. He's stupid. He's fucking dumb. Blah 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 blah. Right? Cash Wheeler this, Cash Wheeler that. So he's taking the brunt of all of this bullshit. But Tammy Sitch is a Hall of Famer. They're saying strip him of the tag team belts, but the same people are saying don't take her Hall of Fame ring. What she did outside of wrestling.
Who the hell said that?
A lot of WWE fans are saying that she shouldn't be taken. Her Hall of Fame ring shouldn't be taken from her because she earned her Hall of Fame ring.
Bro, look,
and you shouldn't judge her for what she's done outside of wrestling. Cash did that outside of wrestling too.
I would, if I was Triple H or whatever executives are at the WWE, I would strip her of it and I wouldn't make a big fanfare about it. But I'd be like, hey man, someone go to her house and pick the ring up, give her a little bit of cash for it because I know she needs it. And we're just gonna take her. We're gonna remove her name from all. Do the Benoit on her. Just remove her.
Who?
Exactly. Exactly.
Well,
Cash Wheeler, bro, you made a mistake. Go live your life. Yeah. That's it.
And honestly, I'm not gonna condone what he did, but I'm not gonna shit on it as well, because I will tell you, I have driven in the state of California in the state of Oregon. I've driven in the state of Washington. I've driven in the state of Florida. I've driven in the state of Massachusetts. I will tell you, Florida is one of those places where people just, I've driven in Texas. Florida is one of those places that just people don't give a fuck. You know,
Yep.
so if someone like cut me off and someone jumped out of their car, started shit to me and threatened my life, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I don't know the situation. Allegedly, the guy, you know, Cash just pulled a gun on some guy. But look, no one just pulls a gun on someone with no fucking reason.
Correct.
So,
I mean, I'll never forget the time I went to Texas and rented a car, and the guy was like, "You want a truck instead?" And I was sure. Came with a shotgun rack.
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, I left my shotgun at home.
look, I was in Florida a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, and I got off the plane. I walk out of the airport and get into an Uber. The Uber driver had a Glock in a holster when I got in the car with him. When I went to put my bags in the trunk. He opened up the trunk and there was a shotgun in the trunk, on the rack, in the trunk. So suffice to say, motherfuckers walk around with guns all day long.
Correct.
So, and he surrendered the gun.
Hey,
You know,
could have been part-time Uber, part-time bounty hunter.
Dog the Uber rider. I don't know, dog the Uber driver. Who knows?
No shit.
So the point is, things happen, ladies and gentlemen. Wrestling happens. Things happen inside wrestling. Things happen outside of wrestling. Nobody complained when Rikishi ran over fucking.
I did it for the Rock.
No one complained about that.
Hey, when NWO ran the Steiners off the road, when when Ed's dressed as Ric Flair ran Ric Flair off the road. I mean,
Hey, speaking of Ric Flair,
somebody call HR.
I was talking shit when Ric Flair was swinging his dick on the airplane.
They
Just
made a
saying, no
cartoon
one
They
said
made a
strip him
cartoon
of his
about it.
16 world titles, did they? No one said strip him of his 2 Hall of Fame rings, did they? Nope.
They made a cartoon about it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on this extended edition of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast Network News. I'm your brother franchise. That's the mixologist. Do
Leave
me
it
a favor,
go.
ladies and gentlemen. Stop being so tribalistic and just enjoy fucking wrestling.